Indirect approach. There are basically four good ways to do this. First, there's the take it for granted technique. It's effective with customers who don't like to commit themselves, who don't give you a clear-cut indication whether they're ready to buy.
As you know, the trends are all in this direction. Do you like it?
Well, of course, styling isn't all we're looking for. Our customer's very much quality-oriented.
Notice he's not committing himself.
I understand. That's why I'm so sure that this line will sell. The extra strength, the inner construction of this line. Just take a look, for example, in this drawer. This is made of the finest maple, but also outstanding durability. Exactly what your customers demand and will pay for, right?
But we have to stay competitive. We have to justify our prices.
Still, no commitment.
Of course. And with this line, you can do it on the basis of style, comfort, and durability. All around quality.
So, with no commitment, but with no objection either, she's going to take it for granted he's decided to buy. Her closing question actually relieves him of the responsibility of saying, I'm sold.
As long as we're agreed on those features, will you tell me the quantities you'll be needing in these models?
Yes. I think we'll mainly concentrate on this line.
That's the take it for granted technique. Now, the second indirect approach also avoids a direct closing question. Instead of asking whether the prospect will buy, the salesperson asks what, when, or how they'll buy. This is the either-or technique. You give them a positive choice between two alternatives, either of which means getting an order.
So, for all these reasons, I feel this equipment will best fill the needs of this college. And I hope the board agrees. Now, are there any other questions?
I got one. Why do we need any new equipment right now? I say...
Of course, that's a decision you'll have to make. Ms. Chalmers feels the old system is unsatisfactory.
I'm still not convinced. Get the old equipment fixed if it doesn't work right.
As I say, Mr. Jenkins, that's up to you and the board. But if it's a matter of the financing...
Here it comes, the either-or close.
In other words, would you want this equipment on a lease agreement basis, or would you purchase it outright and get the special institutional discount?
I'd say buy it if we could get the discount.
Yeah, there is no point in leasing. We've got the money in the budget. Why not?
Wait a minute. We didn't decide if this would be feasible. I say keep the old equipment and get it fixed. We've had it for 20 years and no one...
Hello, Matthew.
Hi. Well, what was their decision yesterday?
Well, they didn't exactly decide on your equipment. No. What they decided on was how they were going to pay you for it. It's the same thing, I guess. Anyhow, they're sending you an order tomorrow.
Great. The either-or technique. But now let's suppose your prospect is a thoroughly indecisive type. He has trouble making up his mind on all big issues or big purchases. In this case, after several meetings, the third indirect closing technique often works. It's called the step-by-step technique. It's like the old game of 20 questions in which the hard-to-get answer is reached by the easy answers to a series of little questions.
So, what do you think?
I don't know. I just want to make sure we choose the right hotel.
Jim? Well, you know best, Sam.
If the big answer is hard to get, try for the easy decision.
Now, as we said in our last meeting, it's a big decision. But while you're thinking about it, tell me, do you think your setup should be theater or classroom style?
Well, 310 people, they got it right. I'd say classroom style, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
That'll work well. Okay, what about food? We've talked about buffet style or served at the table. Which would you feel would work best?
Serve at the table, I guess.
Yeah, that fits the kind of meeting you're having. So, the next decision is how many rooms do you need blocked out?
Oh, well, at least 270, right? I mean, we're going to have a lot of people from out of town, I think.
I'll lock that in then. Now, with as many rooms as you're getting, we can comp you with either one large presidential suite or two regular suites.
Well, I guess the presidential suite then.
Oh, and what about your breakout rooms, the size and setup?
Step by step through a series of easy decisions, you build agreement on the big decision.
Well, Mr. Courtney, the way you laid it out here, the pricing is a little bit less than what we talked about in our last meeting. So if you would sign this authorization right here, I can reserve the facility and get the contract to you.
That's the step-by-step technique. Now there's a fourth type of indirect closing question. This one requires that you have a good relationship with your prospects and know their needs well enough to be sure of the response to your closing question. Now, if this is the case, you may want to try the positive-negative technique. It's called this because in your closing question, you make positive use of a negative point.
Well, we've known each other for a long time, and you know that fractional jet ownership is used by a lot of pro golfers. And you know that this is a whole lot of airplane, Colby. By the way, did I tell you this plane received the highest rating in the industry?
Yeah, you told me that, and I know it's a whole lot of plane. I just wonder if I can stand the cost.
Boy, you get what you pay for. You know that.
Well, I still got to give this a lot of thought.
Oh, and there's one more thing, and I want to be completely candid about this. Fractional ownership is great for people using it 25 hours or more a year, and it would be great to get around on tour, but it's awfully expensive at less than 25 hours.
There's a negative point put to a positive use. The salesperson knows the aircraft will likely be used more than 25 hours, and he uses a little humor to make his point.
So my point is, are you sure you're going to be using this at least 25 hours a year, Jack?
Are you crazy? Of course. I mean, you ought to know that. I mean, I travel at least 18 tours a year. If this plane is as good as you say...
So, Jack, then isn't this the aircraft for you?
Maybe so, you bum.
In answering the positive-negative question, your prospect may find himself closing the sale for you.
Yes, I agree. It looks good, but it's going to take a lot of planning to put that into our schedule.
And we certainly want to work with you on that. Melissa, I need to tell you this. Frankly, I don't believe we'll have that available before the 1st of next month. Now, is that going to mess up your schedule too much?
Oh, no. As I say, it's going to take that long for us to get ready to make a place for it. So I think the 1st will be about right.
Now, there will be times when you get turned down. Of course, that's part of it. And you won't always close on the first try, and some sales you never close. Nobody bats 1,000. Well, that gives you some ideas of some of the different kinds of closing questions you can ask when you want a decision. Some of them may work better for you than others, but any one of them will get results if you use it. Now, a matter of timing, that old idea that there's some one psychological magic moment when you close the sale or you lose it forever. That is a myth. Anytime a prospect indicates strong agreement with you can be a good time to ask a closing question, whether you made the whole presentation you planned or not.
It's not too bad, is it?
Yes, we got pretty good results for your last special edition.
Oh, okay.
Then can we count on you for a full page this time?
You don't waste any time, do you?
Athena, I've got a whole big full-length pitch I'm just dying to try out on.
Spare me. I will take one full page.
Okay.
Tough-minded salespersons will ask a closing question anytime they get a clue that the prospect may be near a decision.
I don't see why we need 20 of them.
I agree. Why don't we go with 12 now?
Well, I think it would appeal to the boss.
In that case, would you like to issue the order, or do you need her approval first?
No, I can okay it.
It wouldn't do us a bit of good unless we have them in stock by the end of the month.
All right. If I can guarantee delivery by